So I'm starting on the Chevy 2. I'm trying to show you what's going on here best I can. If you look, the wheel well gap below the body line is pretty much straight across. There's no, I mean, it's pretty straight. Well, that's on the passenger side. If you go over here to the driver's side and you put it in the same place, you can see that it's got a bulge. Got a bulge in it right about here. And this car's been mini tubbed, 4-length. And if you look up in here, what I'm thinking, the bulge is right here, right in here, down through here. It looks like they haven't pulled the quarter panel, this bottom edge, in far enough. There's actually a good sized gap down here at the bottom going into the trunk. They somewhat sealed it with seam sealer up at the top, and then got down here and it's just nothing but a gap. And then down here, these are new quarters, by the way. It is rust and barely attached down here. Seems like if I would have put new quarters on it, I would have replaced that too, but I don't know the situation. So kind of what I'm figuring on what I'm gonna do with this here is I'm gonna try and get this seam sealer out and cut it loose down here at the bottom, pinch weld, and see if I can't get this back wheel well corner to suck up to the inner fender well and bring that bow in. So I'm figuring if I take it loose down here and then pull it in, it'll pull this up here in also. If not, I may have to, when I get that seam sealer loose up through there, I may have to push in on the outside of the quarter panel here, maybe put me a couple tacks or something like that to secure it to the inner well. That way it holds it in. But also I got this dent to fix where he got into his trailer. It looks like that'll rub off of the door. This will probably rub off, but that dent will not rub off. You have to fix that. So yeah, I'm going to see what I can do with this, see if I can get this bow out. All right, so I'm messing with this quarter panel, and what seems to me that's going on, I'm trying to get this area right here flat. It's had a bubble out to it, and why I'm trying to get that flat, if I do, it out here is flared out more than the pasture side. So what I'm thinking is that down here where the quarter attaches to needs to come in a little bit to let this all come in together. That's what I'm thinking, because it's the inside edge of the quarter panel has been cut for tire clearance, and it's made this panel, it's made it real the strength isn't there anymore to hold it where it needs to be. So every time I try and move something, it wants to move somewhere else. So what I did is I got up under it here and checked out what was going on, and I showed you a little bit of the seam sealer, which I thought it was seam sealer, but it seems like it was panel bond up here in the top. I got all that out so the quarter would move the way I wanted it to, and even trying to get it to go where I want it, it's not closing up the gap very much, and I think it's because down here at the bottom pinch weld is holding the quarter from actually moving. It wants to just put it in a bind. But when I started to come down here to mess with the pinch weld and cut it loose so I can move it where I need it to, I found this cobbled up mess. Looks like there is a lot of rust, and they've put some Bondo in it to cover it up. Looks like it's got Bondo down in here. Is a little, I guess some type of patch panel was put in here, tried to be put in here to cover it up, and it was there wasn't no seam sealer or panel bond or anything down here. There was a little bit on the edge, but not where the gap was at. Is a little bit more of a hole now because I've just been popping out some loose stuff. This damn light. But yeah, I mean, it's a mess. I don't. I guess I'm going to cut it down through here. Get the bottom of the quarter panel to move where I want it a little bit, and then tack it back, and then this needs to be just cut out and a patch panel put here. So probably going to be doing that. Try and get the quarter where it needs to be first before I try and do any patching of it, but I'm going to cut down here and see what that gets me. Looking over here on the other side, it's not much better. Looks like they've put some sort of patch panel. Looks like they've cut out a lot compared to the other side. And quarter panel, the pinch weld is quite a bit different. I don't know if they've welded it down through there or it's all just panel bond. I'm not sure, but looks like it's already starting to rust. But I'm not going to be messing with this side because he didn't say anything about doing anything to this side, so I'm not going to get into that. Just going to straighten up this and see what I can do, make it a little bit better. All right. So I've been battling with this thing, and I think I've got it now where I can start doing some body work to it. I went ahead and welded my studs, used a stud welder, and pulled that dent out. And I ended up having to, this part of the quarter panel was real flimsy. And especially after I cut loose the bottom and moved the quarter panel in, and I instead of panel bond, I tack welded on the inside to the inner fender wheel well. So that pulled that in, and then this was real flimsy. So what I ended up doing is it was real thin also where they've cut the lip out to clear the tires. I welded where it was real thin and built this lip up a little bit, and with the heat and everything, I moved where it was bowed out, I moved it in, and got little waves and stuff throughout here where I was working it with the hammer and dolly and everything, getting it pushed in. Couple places cracked filler while I was working it, right in here, down here at the bottom a lot. There's quite a bit of filler in it, but I don't know if you can tell, but there's there's quite a bit. The filler is pretty deep in it, in this area. So what I'm gonna do, instead of just putting some filler in these spots, I'm going to block this whole area so some of this waviness come out, because there's so much filler in it now. I can use it to block this out before I add some. I'll still need to add some more, because I won't be able to take it all the way down to basically the bare metal. So I'll do that. I'll need to add a little bit of filler here, because doing the tacks, you know, the heat shrink the metal right there. So it's a little low in this area here, just from tacking the metal to the inner fender well. But I'll kind of see if I can do this with one hand. This has been my guide here, and you can see there is a little bit of a gap now. Right where the wheel well is a little bit more right there, because all the filler that I've ground out. But there's a little bit of a gap, and then it try and get it here, and it touches back here, and then it opens up again, and it touches the front and then opens up. And that is how the other side is. Get it up here. You can see a little bit of a gap right in the center. Then move it down just a touch, and it touches the outer wheel edge, and then it comes in, and then does the same thing in the back. So seems to be matching on both sides now. You look down through it, you're not able to see it flare out or anything right here. And this side, you used to be able to, you can see how it's basically flat now. Used to, it was flared right in this area, and flared a lot more. Well, not a lot more, but flared more than what it is now in this area. And this side has a little bit of a flare to it in the back, so I kind of matched it on the driver's side. So that's about as good as I'll be able to get it, I think. And now I'll just start doing the body work and getting it straight and get some primer put on it. Okay, so I got everything feathered out. I'm about to swipe some filler in it. Okay, I got a swipe of filler on everything. I'm gonna call it for today. It's really close. I'm gonna need to put some more filler through here and get this contour a little bit better. I sanded out and grinded out quite a bit of filler before I started putting some back in it. So I don't really like putting filler in something like this, but I basically have no choice, where it already had filler in it and they already had the body line. I don't know really what happened, but they had the body line made out of filler. So that's basically what I'm having to do again. I don't know if maybe when they cut this lip out, it deformed it so much that they had to do that, or what. But I've got it pretty straight. Just a little bit more through here, and shape this a little bit better, and then it'll be ready for primer. This dent down here, it came out good. Spot on the door wiped off. So I'm going to try and, when I paint it, I'm going to try and keep the color below that body line, and maybe bring my clear up to this body line up here, and burn it in on that roll. instead of having to come up here to put a line here and break it up here. I'll try and break it right here on this roll so it's not noticeable at all.
It's like taking a baseball bat and hitting another baseball bat. John Diggs.
So working on the Chevy 2 this morning. Got it blocked. I'm going to be primering it again. Little low still right there. Primer's going to correct that. Up in here, just how they've had the body line. It's kind of got a contour to it, and I'm more of a hard edge up here. Check the other side, and basically the whole wheel well right through here has a contour like that. So I'm gonna prime it probably 2 more times just to make sure I get the nice even contour through here. But everything else blocked out really nice. You can see there's no low spots or anything like that. So it's ready for primer again. And before I primer it, I'm gonna go ahead and address this. I can't see welding this back together and not fixing this. So I've made me a little patch panel that's going to go right in here like this. So I'm about to cut this out and form this panel a little bit better to it, and get this took care of. That I've already got a panel, this filler panel that's going to go in here, and get this all welded up. That's even loose. Probably just cut that loose. Look, I can move it with my fingers. It's half-ass welded. Cut that loose, get rid of that piece. So I'm probably going to be burning the paint on the outside through here. So I'm going to address this before I have to primer again. That way I can get some primer on this. Okay, so you can see that I got the patch panel, both patch panels in. A few little small rust holes in the back. Not going to worry about that. I'm going to seam seal the edges of the panels and put this undercoat and stuff over it. So that's not going to matter. I'm going to put seam sealer in it. But yeah, as you can see, it looks a lot better than it did. Over here on the edge, there's a gap down here at the bottom. It's going to get some seam sealer. When I put seam sealer up through there, fill in them gaps of the welds holding the quarter to the inner wheel well, and yeah, that it's a lot better than what was under here. So he should be happy with that, if he was happy with the mess that was under here before. So I'll working on the outside now, where I burnt the paint and the filler that was on the outside, welding it. I grinded it down, smoothed it out, swiped a little bit of filler in there now, and gonna block it down and put another coat of primer on everything. And got more primer on the quarter panel. So I don't know, I'll see how it does when I block it this next time. I may put another coat of primer on it, or I may just let it ride. So we'll see. All right, I've been working on the Chevy 2 in here, getting it ready for paint. Got it all sanded. We're going to do my blend, and then going to burn the clear in on the top of the quarter. That way you don't have to clear the whole top and cowl panel and all that. Burn it in on the top, do a little bit of buffing. Won't be able to notice at all. Try and keep my color below the body line, and do my blend down there. I also got under here seam sealed and painted black. So it's all sealed up. I just sprayed it black, so I'm going to tape it up in the morning and paint in the morning. So this should be all nice and dry for when I tape on it. But that looks a lot better than it did when it came in. So Should last a lot longer too because of all that rust holes that was in it. Maybe a little light right there, or it's starting to dry right there. I use semi-gloss, so. But yeah, that's where I'm at on the Chevy 2. They come and picked up the pump. They're back there rolling hay today. Dogs are out here wondering what I'm doing, trying to get them to help, but they won't help me, especially that one. But yeah, I'll get it taped up in the morning and get it sprayed and get it to where he can come pick it up first of the week. Got a Toyota supposed to be coming Monday. Gonna have to do some painting on it. That paint don't match that somebody's done. That I'm having to fix it also. All right, so I got the Chevy 2 untaped. Buffed the top of the quarter where I did my burn in, and it is ready to roll, other than where I re-seam sealed the inner tub. I got to get some of this splatter paint to cover that up, but other than that, it is done. Blended out pretty nice. Did all right, I think. Should be happy with that.